My child, stop where you are and listen. Do not let another heartbeat pass without hearing me. Heaven itself is calling your name, and a call from heaven is waiting for your answer. You have silenced my whispers beneath the noise of your days, but tonight, I am breaking through the clamor to reach you. This is not coincidence. This is appointment. You have felt me stirring, tugging at your spirit, and now the time has come. What you decide in this moment will not just shape your life, it will echo in eternity. My beloved child, before the dawn breaks and the noise of the world rises, I am already speaking. When the stars still hang in the quiet sky and your heart beats heavy with thoughts you cannot share, I am there, whispering, not with thunder, not with fear, but with a softness that only the soul can hear. You have felt that whisper before, in moments when the world grew still and something eternal brushed against your heart. That stirring, that ache you cannot quite explain, is my voice calling out to you. I have been speaking since the first moment you were formed, since I breathed life into your lungs. My call has never stopped. It is the rhythm beneath your breathing, the pull within your spirit that says there must be more. You may think you've missed me, that I speak only to others more holy, more worthy, more faithful. But hear me now. My whisper has never left you. It travels through your tears. It echoes in your laughter. It hides in the silence that others overlook. Every time your heart wonders, is anyone listening? I'm answering, yes, my child, I'm here. You do not need to shout to reach me. You do not need to perform or prove your devotion. You only need to listen, to turn your face toward the quiet where my spirit waits. I call to you not to condemn, but to awaken. You were made for more than surviving the rush of your days. You were made to walk with me, to live from a peace that the world cannot steal. But the world has grown loud, hasn't it? Its noise seeps into your mind, the constant hum of responsibility, the demands, the distractions. You tell yourself you'll listen to me later, when things calm down. Yet every later becomes another missed moment, another whisper lost in the wind. Still, I do not stop calling, because I know your heart. I know that beneath your weariness lies a soul that still longs for me. You've searched for fulfillment in so many places, in people, in success, in approval. Yet each one fades. My child, do you not see? You are not empty because you have failed. You are empty because you have been listening to every other voice but mine. My whisper is not an echo of your thoughts. It is the sound of heaven bending close, asking you to remember who you are. So tonight, or in the still hour of morning, when your spirit grows restless again, pause. Do not rush past the silence. That is where I wait. Let the world fade for a moment. Breathe. Listen. For even now, I am calling your name, softly, steadily, lovingly, hoping that this time you will not only hear me, but answer. You have felt it, that sudden stirring in your spirit, the nudge that seems to come from nowhere, the moment your heart grows heavy for reasons you cannot explain. That is my call, the gentle voice of heaven reaching toward you. Yet so often, my call is met with silence. You hear it in your quiet moments, but brush it aside, convincing yourself it's only emotion or coincidence. You tell yourself, maybe later, maybe when I have more time, maybe when I'm stronger. But I am not calling you for when you're ready. I am calling you because you are not. My child, how long will you let the noise drown out the sound of my love? I do not call to burden you. I call to heal you, to draw you out of the weight of what you were never meant to carry alone. Every day, I reach toward you through small things, through the kindness of a stranger, the ache of your loneliness, the memory of a peace you once felt. I call through your circumstances, through the very details of your life, yet you keep thinking I am distant. I whisper in the middle of your confusion, "Come closer," but you turn back to what is familiar, even when it leaves you empty. You have mistaken comfort for peace, but comfort without me only numbs the pain. It never heals it. When you ignore my call, your soul begins to wander, restless, searching, chasing moments that fade as quickly as they come. But still I wait. I am not offended by your silence. I am patient because I know the day will come when the noise of the world no longer satisfies you. And then, when your spirit finally quiets, you will hear me again. You see, I am not in the chaos. I am in the stillness that follows. The unanswered call is not the end. It is simply the pause before your return. Every time you turn away, I do not grow angry. I grow closer, waiting for the moment your heart opens just enough to recognize me. You think you've gone too far, missed too many chances, but my call does not expire. My voice does not fade with distance. It echoes across time, across shame, across every wall you've built. And when you finally answer, even after all this time, you will find that I never stopped speaking, never stopped waiting, never stopped loving you. So listen again, my beloved, not with your ears, but with your soul. For my call is not demanding your perfection. It is inviting your return. You have been searching for someone to truly see you, not the version you show the world, but the real you hidden behind the practiced smile and the quiet pain. Hear me now. I see you. I have always seen you. You are not lost in the crowd. You are known, fully and intimately, by me. Before your first breath, I knew your name. Before anyone ever celebrated your arrival, I rejoiced over your existence. You may think you have been forgotten, that your prayers have gone unanswered, that your pain has been ignored, but not one tear you have shed has escaped my notice. Every sigh that left your lips was recorded in the language of heaven. You are not just another soul passing through time. You are mine, chosen, cherished, and remembered. The world may overlook you because it sees only what is visible. But I look at what cannot be seen, the strength that has kept you standing, the hope you cling to in the dark, the love that still beats within you even after heartbreak. You have called out, "Does anyone care? Does anyone understand?" Yes, I do. I have walked with you through nights you thought you faced alone. I was beside you when your heart broke, whispering, "Hold on, I am still here." I was the calm that steadied you when everything else fell apart. And even now, as doubt lingers, I am closer than ever. You may think your name hath been forgotten, but it is written on my hands, engraved by the same love that carried the cross. You have a place in my heart that no one else can fill. The world may try to define you by your failures, but I define you by your redemption. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the story of my mercy. When you whisper my name in faith, even through tears, heaven responds, because heaven knows who you are. You were not created for obscurity, you were created for communion with me. And though you have wandered, your name still echoes through eternity as one whom I love. So lift your head, my child. Do not believe the lie that you are unseen or unloved. Every detail of your life matters to me. Every breath, every dream, every scar. I have called you by name, and you are mine. When you finally answer, you will understand. All the while you thought I was silent, I was calling your name again and again, waiting for you to remember that you belong to me. You keep searching for me as if I were far away, up in the clouds beyond the stars, hidden somewhere beyond your reach. But the truth is there has never been distance between us. The space you feel is not real. It is only the shadow cast by doubt and fear. I have never left you, not for a single heartbeat. Every breath you take draws from the life I placed within you. I am not the distant God you were taught to chase. I am the presence within you, the quiet warmth that stirs when you remember love, the peace that suddenly wraps around you when there's no reason for calm. I am not beyond the heavens. I am in the pulse of your being. You say, Lord, I can't find you. But, my beloved, you can't find what has never been lost. You seek me in churches, in miracles, in grand moments, yet overlook the small, holy places where I dwell, in your compassion, in your forgiveness, in your stillness. When you close your eyes and breathe my name, you step into the nearness that has always been. The separation you feel is not mine. It is born of the world's noise and your own belief that I could ever be far. I am not a distant deity demanding perfection. I am a father longing for connection. When you ache, I ache with you. When you laugh, I rejoice with you. You are not walking toward me, you are walking with me even when you do not realize it. Every time your heart turns toward goodness, you are turning toward me. Every time you love, you are touching my heart. The veil between us is thinner than breath, and it disappears entirely when you whisper, Here I am, Lord. So do not wait to find me in some future moment or perfect place. I am here, in the now, in the imperfection, in the in-between, in the silence after your prayer. You don't need to climb mountains to reach me. You only need to open your heart. For I have never been distant, only waiting for you to see that I have been beside you all along. The distance you felt was never a measure of how far I am. It was a measure of how deeply I've been calling you home. You feel it every day, the pull in two directions. One calling you deeper, quieter, truer. The other dragging you toward noise, urgency, and exhaustion. You live in a war between distraction and destiny, and the battlefield is your attention. The world has mastered the art of stealing it. The endless screens, the constant scrolling, the relentless need to be busy. Yet every distraction you follow pulls you a little further from the sound of my voice. I am not hiding from you. I am waiting for you to notice that the noise you chase cannot satisfy the hunger in your soul. You were made for more than survival. You were made to live with intention, to walk in the fullness of what I designed you to become. But destiny cannot compete with distraction. You must choose which voice to follow. Do you feel that restlessness in your heart? It's not anxiety. It's a holy agitation, a divine reminder that your life was meant for eternal things. The world tells you that peace comes from control, from having everything in order. But peace, my child, comes only from presence, mine. Yet you fill your days with motion, even when your soul begs for stillness. You think you might lose momentum if you pause, but in truth, you only lose yourself when you don't. I never asked you to move faster. I asked you to walk with me. Destiny does not rush. It unfolds. It's found in quiet obedience, in small acts of faithfulness, in moments when you turn your eyes from what distracts to what truly matters. The enemy of your soul is subtle. He doesn't always tempt you with sin. Sometimes he tempts you with busyness, good things that keep you too busy for the best thing. He knows if he can keep you distracted, he can keep you distant. But I am calling you to awaken. Lay down the noise. Let the urgency of the world give way to the eternal rhythm of my grace. When you quiet the distractions, you'll find that destiny was never far away. It was only waiting behind the noise for you to listen again. You think of the cross as history, as something finished long ago. But hear me. The cross still speaks. Its voice echoes through every moment of your life, whispering, You are loved. You are forgiven. You are mine. The cross was not the end of suffering. It was the beginning of redemption. When my blood fell to the earth, it did not dry in silence. It became the everlasting testimony that you are worth dying for. Every drop still cries out across eternity, you are not forgotten. I did not endure the pain to build a religion, but to restore a relationship. I am not calling you to ritual. I am calling you to remembrance, to remember the love that reached for you before you ever reached for me. When you doubt your worth, look at the cross. When you question my presence, remember that I chose nails rather than lose you. Every wound I bore became the doorway to your healing. The cross is not merely a symbol of sacrifice. It is the voice of heaven declaring that grace still wins. It speaks through your failures, saying, "This does not define you." It speaks through your guilt, saying, "You are free." It speaks through your shame, saying, "You are still mine." The power of the cross was never limited to one moment in time. It continues through every heart that believes. So when you feel unworthy, when the world tells you that you've gone too far, listen again. The cross still speaks your name. It calls you not to perfection, but to surrender. It doesn't demand that you be strong. It invites you to let me be your strength. You do not need to prove yourself to me. I proved my love for you long ago. Come back to the foot of the cross, not to mourn, but to remember. Love has already won. You keep saying, "Someday. Someday you will pray more. Someday you will forgive. Someday you will surrender." But my child, do you not see how many somedays have already passed? Each one slips away quietly, carrying with it moments that can never return. Heaven is patient, but time is not. The delay is costly, not because I withdraw my love, but because every moment you live apart from me steals something sacred from your heart. You lose peace first, then clarity, then joy. And before long, you wonder why life feels so heavy, why hope feels distant, why faith feels harder to hold. It is because the call I've placed within you keeps ringing unanswered, and your spirit grows weary from the waiting. You tell yourself you're not ready, that you need to fix yourself first. But what if readiness never comes? What if healing begins only when you answer? You were never meant to prepare for my call. You were meant to respond to it. Every delay feeds the illusion that there will always be more time. Yet the truth is, eternity doesn't begin after you die. It begins the moment you say yes. When you postpone my voice, you postpone your purpose. You silence the very thing that could set you free. I am not angry with your hesitation. I understand it. I know the weight of your doubts and the pain of your past. But do not confuse patience with permission. I wait because I love you, but waiting is not the same as agreement. Every heartbeat that passes is a gift, an invitation to step closer. Do not wait for perfect circumstances. They will never come. The perfect moment is now, because I am in it. Someday is the thief of destiny. Every later becomes another lost opportunity to walk in the fullness of who you were created to be. You are standing on the threshold of transformation. All that is required is your yes. Heaven has already prepared the path. All that remains is your answer. So, my beloved, delay no more. For every second you hesitate, you are missing the beauty I've been waiting to unfold within you. Answer me now, not out of fear but out of love. For eternity is not far away. It begins with your next breath. You are tired, aren't you? So tired of holding everything together, the expectations, the responsibilities, the unspoken pain. You wake up each day and wear strength like armor, but underneath it all, you are weary. I see it. I see the weight you carry, the fears you never voice, the burdens you pretend don't exist, the guilt that whispers you are not enough. My child, listen to me. You were never meant to carry what I already carried for you. You try to hold your world in your hands, but that is why your hands tremble. You've mistaken control for peace, but peace has never been born from control. It is born from surrender. When I said, "Cast your burdens on me," it wasn't poetry, it was a lifeline. You are not meant to be your own savior. You are meant to rest in mine. Every time you try to fix everything alone, you step into a weight that doesn't belong to you. I never asked you to solve every problem, heal every wound, or please every person. I asked you to trust me. But I know, trust is hard when you've been disappointed, when others have dropped what you've handed them. Yet I am not others. I do not fail. I do not forget. I do not grow weary of holding you. You don't need to be perfect for me to carry you. You only need to be willing. The burden you bear, the anxiety, the shame, the silent struggle, is not proof of your strength but proof of your humanity. And it is precisely in your humanity that my divinity meets you. When you let go, it may feel like falling, but in truth, it is finally flying. You have tried so long to be strong, but real strength is not in resistance, it is in release. Let the tears fall if they must. Let the walls you've built begin to crumble. For every piece that breaks, I will rebuild with grace. You were never designed to live in exhaustion. You were created for communion. So, release it now. Let me lift the weight you were never meant to carry. The world will not fall apart when you rest, because I am the one who holds the world, and I hold you, too. Freedom does not come from fighting harder. It comes from surrendering sooner. You have wrestled with so much, the fear of losing control, the fear of letting go, the fear that surrender means weakness. But hear me, surrender is not defeat, it is deliverance. It is the doorway between striving and peace. Every time you release your grip, you make room for my hands to move. The life you are trying to hold together in your strength will always feel fragile because it was never meant to depend on your effort. It was meant to depend on my grace. When you surrender, you don't lose. You finally find what has been missing: rest, clarity, purpose, and the sweet stillness of knowing you are not alone in the fight. I know what you're afraid of. You think if you let go, everything will fall apart. But what if it's not falling apart? What if it's falling into place? You keep praying for peace while holding on to the very thing stealing it. I cannot pour new life into hands that refuse to open. So, open them now. Release the anger, the fear, the control. Trust me with what you cannot fix. I am not asking you to stop caring. I am asking you to stop carrying what was never yours. The moment you surrender is the moment chains begin to break. The power that once held you captive loses its grip the instant you say, "I can't, but you can." The world celebrates control. Heaven celebrates trust. What you think is losing is actually winning, because when you give me your weakness, I exchange it for my strength. When you release your plans, I replace them with purpose. You have prayed for freedom. Surrender is the answer to that prayer. So, let this be the moment you exhale. You don't need to figure it all out. You only need to hand it over. And when you do, you will feel something shift deep within, not emptiness but peace. For surrender is not the end of your story. It is where true life finally begins. When you finally answer my call, everything begins to change. Not because the world outside shifts instantly, but because something awakens inside of you. Something eternal. My voice is not just sound, it is power. It is creation. It is life. The same voice that spoke light into darkness is the one calling your name now. When you say yes, heaven moves. Chains you didn't know existed begin to break, and the emptiness that once filled you starts to overflow with peace. You may not feel ready, but your yes doesn't require perfection, only willingness. And I am calling you not only to believe in me, but to walk with me into purpose. You have waited for signs, for confirmation, for everything to make sense. But what you call hesitation, I call holy delay, the moment before breakthrough. Once you answer, you will see how every struggle, every pain, every unanswered question was preparing your heart to hear me clearly. My voice changes everything because it restores what the world has broken. It speaks identity into your confusion, hope into your despair, direction into your wandering. My voice doesn't just lead you, it transforms you. Do you remember the first time your heart felt alive in my presence? That was not a fleeting emotion. That was a glimpse of what I've prepared for you. Every yes you whisper echoes through eternity, because when one heart responds, heaven rejoices. I call you not just to save you, but to send you, to be light where darkness still reigns. The same voice that awakens you will speak through you. You will become a vessel of my words, carrying love into the places that have forgotten how to hope. So listen closely, my beloved. The world will still clamor for your attention, but once you've heard my voice, no other sound will satisfy. You will find courage you didn't know you had, joy that no circumstance can steal, peace that defies explanation. For my voice doesn't call you to life, it calls you to become my brother. And as you answer, remember this: you were not chosen by accident. You are part of my eternal melody, a note in the divine symphony that began before time itself. Let your answer ring, not in fear but in faith. For when you say yes, heaven sings with you, and your story begins again. You have stood in the ruins long enough, my child. You have stared at what was lost, replayed the failures, and carried the echoes of old pain like they were still your present. But hear me now. I make all things new. Not some, not later, not for others more deserving, for you, here, now. When you finally answer my call, it is not a return to who you once were. It is a rebirth into who you were always meant to become. The past has no authority where grace reigns. I am not looking at what you did wrong. I am looking at what I can do right through you. Every scar, every mistake, every broken dream, I can weave them into something beautiful. What you see as the end, I see as the beginning. You think your story has been written in regret, but I have already penned redemption across every page. You do not have to live defined by what hurt you. I am not the God of what was, I am the God of what can be. The old things have passed away. Behold, I am doing a new thing, even now, beneath the surface where you cannot yet see. Sometimes I must allow the ground of your life to break, not to destroy you, but to plant something eternal. What feels like loss is often planting. The soil of your pain holds the seeds of purpose. If you will trust me, truly trust me, I will bring life out of what you thought was lifeless. I can turn your mourning into dancing, your sorrow into song. This new beginning does not erase the past, it redeems it. Every moment of suffering becomes sacred when it leads you closer to me. You don't need to understand how. You only need to believe that I can. Let go of the shame that whispers you're unworthy. My mercy has already silenced that voice. Step forward now, not with fear, but with faith. I am doing something new within you, a renewal that will not fade. You will look back one day and say, it had to be this way, because you will see how even the broken roads led you home to me. The new beginning has already started, the moment you opened your heart and let me in. When you answered my call, I placed within you a fire that no darkness can extinguish. It is not a fire that destroys, it purifies, strengthens, and illuminates. This fire is my presence in you, the quiet flame that burns even when the winds of life howl against it. You have felt it, that holy stirring in your spirit that refuses to die, even when the world tells you to give up. That is my spirit, alive within you. You may not always feel the blaze, but the flame never leaves. When you walk through the valleys, I am there as warmth in the cold. When you face opposition, I am the light guiding you through. The world cannot understand this fire because it was not lit by human hands. It was breathed into you by heaven itself. But hear me, you must tend it. Fires fade when neglected. Do not let the distractions of this world smother the flame I've placed within you. Feed it with prayer. Protect it with truth. Fuel it with gratitude and worship. There will be days when you feel weary, when the flame flickers low. Those are not moments of failure but invitations to draw near to me again. I am the keeper of your fire. Every time you return to me and surrender, the flame grows stronger, brighter, more alive. This fire will refine you. It will burn away what no longer serves your spirit. Sometimes it will be uncomfortable because purification always is. But do not fear the process, for every trial that passes through your life is not to destroy you but to purify your heart for greater purpose. My fire within you will guide others. Its glow will remind them that I am real, that I still dwell in the hearts of those who love me. You are not a dying ember. Child, you are a living flame, meant to carry light into dark places. Let your life burn with faith, compassion, and truth. And remember, even when you feel surrounded by cold, my fire within you will not go out. It was never meant to. There will come a day when time itself will fade, and all that will remain is love. The love that began before you were born. The love that has followed you through every season. The love that now lives within you. That love is me. And in that eternal moment, you will see that every time I called, every whisper, every stirring of your heart was leading you here, to oneness with me. My child, the call of heaven was never meant to be a one-time moment. It was meant to be an eternal dialogue, an unending conversation between your soul and mine. You have answered, and now your journey does not end. It transcends. The yes you gave me will echo into forever. In the stillness of eternity, there will be no more distance, no more confusion, no more doubt. You will stand in the light of perfect love, and every unanswered question will make sense. But until that day, live as one who already belongs to eternity. Carry heaven in your heart. Let your life be the echo of the call you answered, a living testimony that my love is real. The world needs that light. They need to see in you the peace that only I can give. When others are weary, your faith will remind them that there is hope beyond the temporary, joy beyond the sorrow, life beyond the grave. You are not waiting for eternity to begin. You are already part of it. Every act of love, every prayer whispered in faith, every tear shed in trust, they all resound in heaven. So do not live small. Do not doubt your impact. You are part of my eternal design, chosen to carry the melody of heaven through the world. And when your time on earth is done, it will not be an ending but a homecoming. You will hear my voice once more, not as a distant call, but face to face, and I will say, well done. Until that moment, keep your heart open, your spirit alive, and your faith burning bright. The call that once whispered in your darkness now sings through your soul. You have answered, and heaven has rejoiced. The eternal call continues, not from above, but from within. For I am with you always, even to the end of the age. And when all things fade, love remains, and love, my beloved, is me, Amen.